Hello and welcome to the post-match review of what was a chaotic, an awful, but also a thrilling FA Cup win. And yeah, how often is it like that with United? Honestly, far too much these days. And it would be nice soon to have, a little bit more of a calm, easy cup win against a relegation side at home at Old Trafford. But considering we've won very few games at Old Trafford, maybe it would have been better to be away. But we've beaten Arsenal in the cup now away, beat Leicester at home, and so we keep go marching on. But this was definitely a game where I think a lot of people, myself included, hope that Amorim is not fooling himself too much here, because a lot of patience for what he's going to do and where we're going to go, and the intentions and everything, and then the fact that it's 3 months in and you've got a lot of road to cover. Um, but there's some things he's changed recently in the team and that he's continued to do that are bad, and they're just straight up mistakes he doesn't have to make, and mistakes that I think are making us work. I can see what he wants to do in this team, and that is a difference. A few months in, I can see an identity. I know what he's trying, but it feels very regularly sabotaged by simply just by bad personnel choices when he has the ability to do something better. And that's the frustrating part about it. And it's not that he doesn't know, because I'll dive into stats and things like that, but the subs routinely in recent weeks, you think about the first half just against Southampton, it feel very similar. Extremely flat, poor, and then you make a couple of subs and suddenly we're going. We're flying. We're starting to be aggressive. We're gaining our energy. We're making movements. We're throwing the team off. We're getting the balance right. Um, and yeah, I know he knows, but he has to get it right from the start, because there's been changes he's been making that have not helped us, that really have not improved the team at all, and in fact they've enhanced some of those problems. And I wouldn't even say it was a tale of two halves, because the start of the second half was just as bad. So it's not about one change, but it's about many changes that need to happen in order to make things work, to improve upon it. I think there was a lot wrong, and I'll kind of dive into that in a second here. But really, good to see. Of course, Dorgu got on the pitch, and again, one of the baffling things was that he played on the right for the 45 minutes that he stayed on. The plan was for him to play for 45 minutes and come off, so he wasn't subbed because he wasn't performing. Garnacho was a good choice to replace him, and it moved Ahmad to right wing back, which was good. Dorgu was good at right wing back too. Just it was a good performance from him. Physically, he looks bigger than he's got size. He's got size. He's got pace. He's got speed. He's a good player. Put him on the left side. He honestly looked uncomfortable to me on the right in certain areas where it felt like he couldn't drive on the ball forward and really utilize his strengths to the max. But additionally, I think it creates the biggest error of all, which is continuing to play Dallo on the left. Week in and week out, Diogo Dallo on the left has been awful. And I actually don't think Dallo is that bad of a player, but on the left he is. And I think if he were playing on the right, he would look at least decent and it would be manageable. But as it is, his game on the left is so bad that it often is extremely damaging to the team. And I think we saw that today. That's not the only problem, but it was good to see him start in Dorgu, get his minutes, means he'll be starting next game as well. Hopefully, get the full match. Um, Gives us the option. We can play him and Ahmad as wingbacks, or we can play him on the same side as Ahmad. But again, that leaves you with that Dallo issue on the left that I don't like. Garnacho was very dangerous again coming on. Made a lot of things, not just dangerous. Okay, he made a lot of things happen that led to the goals actually as well. His shooting continues to be completely baffling, and if he would just do anything but shoot, it would be good. But he was so dangerous otherwise, and actually creating goals And so, that was excellent from him. Zirkzee continues to be, I still also continue to be a bit baffled why he's not starting. And I think it's throwing the balance of the team off. Mainoo was probably one of the worst players on the pitch today as a 10. He doesn't have it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. He does not have it as a 10. It is not in his wheelhouse. It is not in his skill set. In moments where we're spending our whole game just sitting around the box, there's things he can do well. When he's an intelligent player and he's a skillful player, but I still think his skill set suits being in a more of a deeper role, getting out of pressure. The interplays in the box were bad, too complicated, too tricky. There's no killer instinct or directness or power, and especially it was lacking in pace. The speed at which of action is important. The speed of action in which Garnacho plays was huge. Zirkzee brings so many different tools to the table. It's just not it. It's just not it. And I don't know where that leaves him, but we can kind of discuss that in a minute. Anyway, let's look at some stats, and then I think it would be really good to look at, in general, what does he just need to do? Because I think we've got to settle on, um, we've got to settle on a lineup, that works, a lineup that's regular, a lineup that makes a difference. Overall, that's really all that. Don't make those mistakes from the start, so that we can change. And you can bring some. We don't have a lot of game changers, but don't make those mistakes from the start, and we can do so much better. If you look at it here, like, I love these momentum charts because I truly think you can see quite a lot in terms of reflection on the game. First half, we were just very mediocre. We had decent possession at times, but then we didn't. And then Leicester were just dominating us. After a certain point, they were just, I wouldn't say dominating like we were hemmed in, but they were really playing us like we were nothing. Um, the halftime sub of Garnacho didn't really change anything, not to insult Garnacho, but it alone wasn't enough. What made the difference? Right here. The same as it ever does. Josh Zirkzee comes on for Mainoo. Again, Mainoo and Højlund together up front, it was like playing with 9 men. They were so poor, so ineffective today. Um, just unfortunately, just really not it. And Zirkzee comes on. We immediately dominate the rest of the game. Zirkzee scores the goal off a great move from Garnacho, puts it in. Højlund's shot's blocked. Zirkzee picks up the rebound. I love the fact that he was actually in the box as well, crashing the box. We were starting to get numbers in the box too, with the changes that were made. We dominated it. We get a free kick at the end, and of course, a great free kick from Bruno. That big Harry Maguire smashes in with his head. He's missed a few of those recently, so I'm quite happy that he finally got to finish one, and it was very good. In the first half, again, when you look at the shape of the team, you can see a lot of what's wrong with it, okay, in terms of an Amorim system and what you're looking for. Don't worry about these three on top of each other. Mazraoui and Yoro switch sides. It's kind of annoying that I still can't split it up in half, but Mazraoui and Yoro switch sides. They both did well in both halves. I thought the back three in general were very good. The flat four here is fine. The front three was really shit in terms of their positioning for a while. There was no shape in the first half, like, at all. In the first half, Ahmad was just like right here. Mainoo was over here, and Højlund was like here. It was poor. There was nothing in it in the first half on that. Garnacho came on. This is where he always tends to play, and that's good. And Zirkzee came on and started to really pick the ball up and make movements and then attack the box, and that's what you wanted of him. So that was good. Again, on the stats, you look at it up to this sub. He scores 4 minutes later, right? But you look at it up to this sub and it's mediocre. It was 50-50. They had one big chance, we had like 0. By the end of the game, we've got 4-1, 13 shots to 6, and you would say that we deserved it because we did a lot more even though it was a smaller stretch of the game that we were good. During that stretch, we were very good. I don't have XG because, they don't have it on the FA Cups. But you look at it, like, it's not like they did a bunch, right? Huge mistake ending up on this goal that was just poor defending overall. It's really frustrating. Ugarte gets the ball over here, and there's 3 guys surrounding him. He's trying to dribble out. He loses the ball, but everybody's just standing still. And then De Cordova runs right in unmarked against, there was 3 against like 6 and they let him in. Really stupid, but it was Kobbie Mainoo's man. And it's just, it's not really working there. Either way, by the end, we deserved it. You can see all the shots in the box, the pressure that's being created. Garnacho, just talk about him briefly. He made so much happen, and the positioning there was good. His attacking was good. 2 big chances missed that he should have scored. One off the post. But he created goals. He did create goals. Dribbling, taking his man on the direct threat. You could see the difference when Garnacho came on in terms of what he brings to the table in that front three versus the starting lineup. And I think Ahmad brings that too, mind you. And in the second half, Ahmad was much more effective at driving in and creating play and doing all of that. He still makes things happen. 8 duels out of 13. He still makes things happen. 2 key passes, 68 touches, dribble. He's still making things happen, and so is Garnacho. And it's clear that they're very effective in that. The back 3 were all very good. I thought Ugarte was very good as well. Some people continuously seem to be too quick to want to jump on his back, but he was doing an enormous amount of defensive work for us. He also created the best chance of the game. Picking the ball up, winning it, driving, made an amazing pass through the lines to Garnacho that ended up off the post in the end. That was the one that was off the post. That was almost kind of cleared off the line that Garnacho didn't finish, but that was probably the best chance of the game. An amazing run, amazing turn, amazing pass. He obviously has it in his skill set, and he was again putting out fires all game. Bruno again continues to be a weird case. I thought he was completely invisible for about 60 minutes deep, and I still don't like it. In the second half, once we were dominating the play, then he's able to get forward more, and he starts to be extremely effective and keep the ball moving and keep the attack running and keeping us forward, and was very good in that sense. But prior to that, ineffective. And I worry about that, but we'll talk about the lineup in a minute, what we need to get right. If he has to play deep, we need a much different front 3. Kobbie Mainoo ain't a 10, guys. I'm sorry, he's not a 10. He just does not have the movements. I still think Kobbie Mainoo is better deeper. I think he's better than Bruno defensively, and I want to make this point. The whole thing with Bruno deep is that he can progress the play and all that. We didn't progress the play at all. We were totally shit progressing the play from deep. So it didn't help. We only started progressing via Bruno once Bruno was pushing up into their half heavily in the second half. We were not progressing play with him deep. It did not help. It was not fixing things, right? So that's not. I have mixed feelings about that, and I think we're losing we're losing a lot by not having Bruno, in the team. Frankly, up front, I think we're losing a lot there, and I think that Kobbie Mainoo is a better defender. There's a lot of instances when Bruno just goes to sleep deep that Kobbie wasn't, even though it's a lot of work and he was struggling in certain aspects defensively. When he was playing deeper, I just think it's not a perfect solution, but Kobbie has to figure out his position, and he really, I thought he was actually doing better here. Dalo's an absolute mess at left back. And again, I'm not even trying to be mean. He was just a mess. There were so many little things that he just completely screwed up. Passing, progressions, turning it over in random positions, no threat in the final third. Just poor. He just isn't good there. Rasmus Højlund can't play at striker for us. It starts to get to the point of ridiculousness. In the first half, he had 7 touches. 2 out of 4 passing, 0 out of 4 duels, and 1 out of 4 3 ground duels, or 0 out of 3 ground duels, or something, with like 6 lost possessions. But you look at it, 23 touches, 5 missed passes, and 9 lost possessions. It's too much. He doesn't affect the game, and until we're at a point where we can afford to go down a man, and he can just sit in the box and poach, we can't do it. He does not offer enough into the game. And we saw that with Zirkzee coming on. Scored a goal in 4 minutes, but look, 26 minutes, Zirkzee's got 19 touches, 6 out of 8 ground duels he's winning. So he's dribbling it all over the place. He's winning the ball. He's finding spots to touch it. He's keeping possession, aerial duels 1 out of 2, and he makes 5 tackles in that time too. So he's pressing, he's moving, he's running, he's tackling, he's making things happen, and he's crashing the box. He just brings so much more to the table. And even if it means that in transition we're not quick, and he takes time getting back to the box because he's dropping deep, he just makes us better. As a team, we play much better with Joshua Zirkzee on the pitch. Okay. Casemiro barely played for a minute there, so nothing really to say on that. And so I think really, when it comes down to the lineup, at the end of it, there's, like when it comes down to the lineup, okay, I think we need to stop tinkering so much and start with a good base of things, okay? And because it's like we were making the difference every game, and then it's falling apart. Um and Yeah, and what I want to do here is look at like what can we do differently? What can we do like where do we need to start every game, to win instead of having to constantly change it to fix it. And this is my thoughts on it, okay? And I think that as a team this is fair, and I think that we would be better if we just started with this every single game. Um and started here because instead of constantly trying to fix it. First of all, this back three is fine. Onan or Altai, I'm not fixated on one either. I just wanted to have someone in there. Start with this back three. Delict can come in here too. Any combination of those 4 players is fine. I'm not really worried about that. Yora was great today, by the way. They swapped in the second half, and he started pushing up like Lissandro does, winning the ball high. So did Mazraoui, keeping us in the attack. Exceptional. Near flawless second half out of all of them. Oh, very, very good. Ugarte's there. He's obviously that guy. Um, Stop this. This has to stop. Stop putting Dallo over here. It does not work. I don't even care if you play Dallo at right wing back to solve this other problem, but stop doing this. This has got to stop. This is just do this. Do not play Mainoo in the 10. um, you have to start Zirkzee every game. You have to start Zirkzee every game. And right now, I think you've got to keep Garnacho on the pitch because there's nobody else providing his pace and directness. Right? Start here. Now, Bruno, you have to decide where you want to play him because he should play, um, and that's fine. But I think you can from here move things around. I think you're still fine if you play Mainoo, but whatever. Get Bruno on the pitch, right? In one way or another, get Bruno on the pitch, and then in one way or another, get Ahmad on the pitch. And where you can be flexible is with the positioning. If you need to do this and play Dallo out here, fine, do it. It's okay. But don't change the rest of this, right? Like, this shouldn't change. You should have this set up every single game. Even Garnacho could be on the right, technically. But you could have this set up every single game and fill the rest of the 3 positions. I don't care if Dallo plays on the right. I think he'd be fine there in this setup. But he's just so bad at left wing back. But start here, and you could if you don't want to do this and you need to get Dallo on, fine, then you can do that too. You can do this, but I really, really think as well we should get Bruno into the front. Like if you were to, Garnacho doesn't have to start if you're playing like this. You could play Mainoo here, but it's just it's just frustrating because it's like I think it's that simple. And I get that there's other problems to solve, but it's kind of like if you were to ask me what the best lineup is, it's getting Ahmad out here. And that means you need forwards, and it should not be Mainoo in the forward. And I think that it's really obvious when you go back and look at like Arsenal, Liverpool, City games and stuff. This is our best lineup. The games that and the moments and the games where we've played the best, this is the best lineup by far. Nothing will come close to this. There are things you can shift around, but nothing comes close to this. And if you really have to play Bruno deep, um, then fine. then you can play Bruno deep. Okay, but then this isn't it. This doesn't work. There's not enough pace. Maybe it would work okay if you have Garnacho as a runner and Zirkzee and Ama, but I don't think it's enough threat. I don't think it provides you with enough threat. I really don't think Mainoo is a 10. In this case, you could even play Hoyland. So he's not a hold-up player. He's not your striker. They're running in beyond Zirkzee. You're giving him runners to run beyond Zirkzee. You could do almost anything you want, right? But just start with these 10 players and figure the rest out after that. Like there's a lot of solutions, but start with this and invariably keep the back three. They can shift sides. That much doesn't matter. And you can get Delict in here. That's fine. Keep the back three. Keep Ugarte. Keep Dorgu on the left. You can put Ahmad here. You can put Ahmad here. Keep Zirkzee at striker because he just provides that ability to get up the pitch, to sustain attacks and bring others into it. And then you have to have some direct threat. So if Ahmad is in the front three, yeah, you could get away with not playing Garnacho. But that means Dallow's over here, Bruno there. I would still say in that case, just get Bruno forward and play Mainoo deep. It's just, there's a few things that are invariable, right? You need these players. Plus, Delict could come in again. You need these 6, 7 players on at all times, and you likely need these as well. And we could solve it. But if Bruno has to play deep, then honestly, I would rather see us do this than play Mainoo at the 10. It's just not it. He does not have the running. I'd want these runners around Zirkzee. I want that power. I'd want that directness in there. It's just, it doesn't work otherwise. So I'm hoping he can get it right from the off because I think he's making some big mistakes that are letting us down in areas where we shouldn't and where the changes make it so obvious why it's a mistake. And if we can correct that, then we'll stop making these errors every week. We'll stop starting so slow. And until we do that, I think it's going to constantly be imbalanced. So hopefully today was a fluke in some of the selections and we change it moving forward. But I think it's unjustifiable to not have Zirkzee at the 9 anymore. Even if he's not scoring, he brings a lot to the table at the 9. He just does. He brings a lot to the table. Wild players involved and a lot to the game. Unjustifiable to do that, and we got to stop having Dallo at left wing back, and we've got to stop getting Mainoo deep or Mainoo forward. It would be so much better to play Bruno forward and Mainoo deep than Mainoo forward and Bruno deep. It just would, because it's not helping us having Bruno deep anyway. It has not solved our build-up issues. It has not solved our ability to get to the final third. It's only taken creativity away. So if you're going to play Bruno deep, then you need 3 dynamic attackers in the front. Zirkzee, Garnacho, Ahmad, probably. So hopefully he gets it right. There's a lot of things that I like. Like, there's a lot of aspects of the build-up and control that I see the ideas, but it falls apart on these imbalances. And in the final third, once we made the changes, you can really see how we want to attack. A lot of pace and power from the wide areas, tons of low cuts in, tons of low crosses, tons of cutbacks. That is the Sporting way. That is the Amorim way. That is on purpose. Those are the goals we should be scoring, and we could have scored more. So hopefully we just see him get it right from the start so we can stop stressing so much and start to string some wins together and have some consistency, because it's just too many changes. And especially we've got one game. We have, 8-9 days till our next game. Just get it right. Just get it right, okay? All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Enjoy your weekend. I'll be back with some videos and chat and things like that on Saturday and Sunday. Otherwise, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the win. And hopefully the next one will be a little more fun from start to finish anyway. Okay, have a good one. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications on. See you in the next one.